In a small village located deep in the dark forests, there was an old and abandoned house known as the House of Shadows. Locals say it has a history spanning many decades, and rumors tell of evil spirits wandering around. There was a young man named Mark, curious by nature, who decided to enter the House of Shadows to see if the stories were true. It was nearly midnight, and the silence of the forest made every sound seem eerie. When Mark entered the house, he felt a cold atmosphere surrounding him, as if the demons of the night were watching him. The rooms were dark, and the windows were tightly closed, making the rooms look like dark tombs. Darkness creeps into the corners, and Mark feels that the walls breathe a hidden life. As Mark wanders inside the house, he hears strange noises coming from a dark room upstairs. Those sounds were very similar to the sound of heavy footsteps advancing towards him. Mark quickly ran towards the stairs, but he felt something grab his shoulder tightly. Mark stopped, unable to move. He felt an intense cold spreading through his body, as if an invisible hand was reaching out from behind him. The sound of strange whispers crept into his ear, fading and returning indistinctly. As Mark stood in this frightening darkness, he saw shadows moving in every direction around him. They were coming from every corner, manipulating the darkness and burrowing into the walls, as if the shadows took horrific forms to terrorize his heart. Suddenly, the lights went out, and the house was plunged into complete darkness. Mark heard hysterical laughter and loud screams, but there was no one in the house except him and the darkness surrounding him. Mark tried to run, but the more he tried to escape, the more the shadows got deeper and deeper around him. In a moment of panic, the lights suddenly came back on. He found himself alone in the room he had been in before the lights went out, without any trace of shadows or terrifying sounds. There was only the deep silence of the night. Mark left the house quickly, as if his heart was still beating calmly. He didn't know if the shadows were real, or just a figment of his terrifying imagination. But he lived the rest of his life, certain that the House of Shadows lay, hidden in the darkness, waiting for curious adventurers to show them a side of the terrors of the night.